Hello, everyone. Hi, Melania.
Hello, Sophie.
I'm Zsófia Gebel Simó, and I'm a Hungarian cultural and language coach online. And today we have a very nice, cozy conversation with Melania Biro Boer, who's the highlight of today. And I hope that she will give you inspiration as she is giving inspiration to me and to so many of us with her expertise. Melania is an integrative energy healer, life coach, and self-growth mentor. And I would like to present her a little bit more in detail. But I have to take out my cheat sheet. So Melania was born in Transylvania. She is a Hungarian speaking Transylvanian, like me as well. And she lived in 6 countries so far. And she didn't want to close this challenge in her life, so maybe she will have much more on the list. She speaks 5 languages and traveled as much as she was able to, mostly in Europe and throughout North and Central America, meeting new cultures. And that was something which we could really connect with Melania because we both love to do that. She worked as a high school teacher for 9 years and started and managed a healthy cracker business in Canada that she decided to close and let go during the COVID period. As a change artist, she reinvented herself, and now she works as an integrative energy healer, life coach, and self-growth mentor. Her expertise is in inner child healing. This is the work in which she truly found herself. And let me ask you, Melania, what is the best part of your job, or what do you love the most about your work? Because it sounds so inspiring and so much needed in this
It
world.
really is. It really is. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for being a partner for this conversation. And
It's my great pleasure to meet you.
I'm really grateful. And to answer your question, um, I I might put it this way. First of all, when I started on this journey, it was because I had issues that I couldn't manage. Um, Relationship issues, financial issues, even health issues at some point. And this was all covered with a very deep sadness and unfulfillment with life. So I was really struggling, I might say. And I realized that I need some change. I need to change in order to have a different kind of life. So this whole work started with um, with the intention of helping myself. And then also back then when I started this, I was a teacher, and I really cared about the kids I was teaching. I was a not just a teacher, but a person who they could come to and talk to if they needed. And I also realized that just my teaching degree and whatever I knew back then, it does not serve me enough to be able to help them in a meaningful way. So that was the other motivation, that I really wanted to be uh, a good help for my kids whenever was needed.
So actually, it was rooted in your deep will to help as
Absolutely.
good as possible.
Yes. And you know what?
Mm.
As a teacher, and also being someone who did um, a lot of training, like I went to school quite a good couple of years, and I could not help but notice that school gives us so much in a sense, and we learn so little about ourselves. Like there is such a huge gap, and I know a lot about different things, and I don't know how to live. I don't know how to manage myself as a human being. I don't even know who am I as a human being. So I felt such a huge gap, and as I said, I was so much struggling with life that in one way it was important, and another way what I came to understand is that if something is important for you, you better learn it. You better master it, because no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to be your hero. You're your own hero. You have to grow to be your own hero. So that was really that kept me going, and giving me the power and the courage to really dive in myself and look at the shadows and those parts that I was hiding. Because you know what? The most beautiful thing in this work is that your gifts, whatever your really great and wonderful is in you, hides behind the shadows. So basically, if you want to meet yourself, if you want to see who you really are, the road is through your shadow.
And that is
where
scary.
your gift lies. Yeah.
And that is very scary road to pass through the shadow.
It can be. And you know what? Sometimes, because whatever we meet in the shadow is so painful, yes, it really takes courage to go there. But the other most very important thing is with the attitude, with the intention, how you approach that shadow part of you. That shadow part is basically a younger self. It's still you, but a part of you that didn't or wasn't able to, or it's stuck in some earlier experiences, painful experiences, and because whatever reason you had, maybe you were ashamed of it, maybe you had guilt, you are going to do everything to avoid that part. And if you really want to have access to your whole self, re-loving those parts with kindness, with compassion, it makes a huge, huge difference. So kindness and compassion are key when we approach those shadowy parts of ourselves.
I think that would be a key to live life in general, to be more kinder and treating everything and everyone, inclusive ourselves, with compassion, would make it a better place. But since we can't change the place, right, then we could try to do that work first, and most importantly in ourselves, to find the compassion towards ourselves. And in previously you mentioned this inner child to me, and that was something very interesting of your approach, I think very unique as well, that it can be a scary path to go through our inside the shadows, but on the other hand, if the approach is right, then it can be less scary, or not at all scary possibly, because then you're not looking at the monster in the darkness.
Exactly, because there's no monster. There's a wounded child in there waiting for attention and compassionate reconnection from your adult self. Let's put it this way.
And it's also very interesting that it has a healing effect, because I don't know, I guess it depends on family a little bit, but in general, the society tells you don't be so childish, as it would be something so negative. So if we talk about the inner child, often people think that, oh, that's so childish. Why would I do that? It's nothing to do with adult life, but it has everything to do with it. But it's such a knowledge so deeply somewhere buried that nobody really speaks about nowadays, more and more. But there were long centuries when that was not at all a positive thing to talk about. So you're one of those pioneers, I think, or
Thank you.
pioneers of this word that actually try to rewrite this negative connotation with the
No, totally, absolutely.
child.
I agree with that, because I guess one of the ways we fool ourselves, not intentionally, but it happens, um, that we think that we are a grown up. I mean, we grew up. I'm an adult now. And what makes it even more challenging is that this is what we hear from our parents, from our um, and from the people who surround us. So now you're a grown up and behave like that. And there is this expectation that I should behave like a grown up. And we are lucky that we have a grown up part. We do. But we also have a child conscious part. And that's not, that part of us cannot behave like a grown up because it's still stuck in some uh, experience that he or she had when she was a little. And the way this inner child works is, if I would like to describe how you can imagine, a part of our soul is stuck back in time. So basically, it's like when I'm here in the now, and I'm trying to behave like a grown up, but I don't have the knowledge, or I don't know how. That's because I never evolved that part of myself. So whatever he has or she has in her mind about me, about other people, or about the world, it's the image of a child stuck in a painful experience. And imagine it like a glasses, and through that glasses of wounding sees everything around her, or himself. So until we don't reconnect to that child, until we don't go back as an adult, like from the adult self, and now I have tools, I have knowledge, and I can talk to that part of myself. I can give to that part what she needs. Maybe she needed listening, so I can listen to her. Or maybe she needed a couple of good words, and I can tell that to her. And that's how we heal, basically. And like the beautiful thing is that when we have this connection with our child, we are aware of that part of ourselves, so it cannot affect us anymore, because now we know, like, it's not in the shadow and does what it does without me agreeing to it. But now I know about her. Now I know what she needs, and whenever she needs that connection, I can give that to her. Like, imagine if I want to give you a visual. Until I don't connect or reconnect to my inner child, it's like, if I say that my life is like a car, and who is driving that car? She is driving that car, and she makes the decisions for me, and important decisions, because she is going to decide who am I going to marry, what um, profession I am going to pursue, how much money will I have, how will the like my relationships, how meaningful will they be? Will I be able to build healthy relationships?
So all
Because
the important,
all the important parts. So whenever you wake up that your life is in ruins, it's because she's at the driver's seat.
Yeah. That's even more scary than actually, if you think about it, it's more scary than to discover the shadow in ourselves, because then we realize it's all automatic mode. And we do a lot of things, or most of the things, in the automatic mode because of the patterns we learned, or those coping mechanisms we learned in our childhood. Even now, adulthood, we meet some difficult
We still use
situations.
those tools because until we don't learn something else, we are still going to use those. So yes, we are going to behave childish.
Yeah, and that's, as you mentioned before, that with the children who came to you not just as a teacher, but also to come to you with questions. Like,
Yeah.
children have questions, and they want to ask for a wiser advice, or someone who's wiser, but there's so little people around who you can ask for this advice, because everybody is busy with their own lives. Everybody is having their own traumas, their own problems, their own coping mechanisms, good old or bad old habits, or ways to
Yeah.
deal with emotions or situations. So in the end, the child goes to someone who he or she looks up at, but that doesn't mean that it's the best or the most wisest helper.
Right.
Mostly it's the parents or grandparents, maybe a good teacher.
Yeah.
And if they, in some set situations, none of them have enough patience or time for them, so they just go to each other. And what the child can learn from another child, the same thing.
Yeah.
So in the end, if you don't develop this skill as an adult in yourself, you can't even give the next generation better advice. And also around you, your relationships will suffer, and you will suffer too from it. So in the end, it should be the whole lifetime subject in school, to teach how to live with ourselves.
I can't agree more. Like, I see a huge gap in here because just imagine if you want to learn how to drive a car, you're going to take a training, and then you will have practice, and then only after you're allowed to drive on public roads. Now, in order to be an adult or to be a parent,
I used to say that too. Yeah.
there is no training needed.
No.
Like, anybody can have a child.
And no instruction manual
No,
attached.
no instruction manual. And to be honest, for a time, I believe that we are so complicated that we cannot be understood, but that's not true. That's not true. We are so blessed now with the knowledge in this past 100 years, where what we have learned about the humanness and the human condition, and now we have the tools to heal, and now we have the knowledge to understand our behaviors and even how humans work.
If you have the willingness.
If you have the willingness, you definitely have the opportunity. Like there is opportunity and there is knowledge.
And it's very crucial to find the right guidance in it, because you mentioned the training with the car, and it's true. I think to discover ourselves too, we need guidance, because otherwise there's no one to reinforce those questions, like the answers to our questions. Because in the end, you also told me that in the end, it's me who will do the healing work. You're just a guide on this journey. But I need that guide, because I will arrive to those crossroads or those big question marks, and then how do I know that it's just me, or it's just normal, or the person who can actually help you with this is crucial in this journey. Otherwise, maybe it's not arriving, you won't arrive to the end of that journey. Like so many times it happens without help, without the right support. So I think that you're really good in this, because you really have an open personality. Like you just listen, and you want to be there to help. You have me, so I'm sure you do the same with others, to help us the best way possible to find our own right answers, like what's right for me, or what happened with me, and what can be the better option with my life. So it's really great that you have this openness in you to be able to help without judgment, without any
Very important.
any bad conclusions. Like you're not there to point out what I have done wrong, or what was where I went wrong.
I don't even believe that works. Like I even try not to use this right and wrong, because we have different experiences, and my approach is to understand the best I can what happened to you, and maybe help you see whatever happened to you and whatever you think that it's the pain of your life in a different light, and then be, when you see something from different perspective, uh, there you have a choice. Now you're not stuck anymore, because you don't have only one kind of story. The story changes.
Yeah,
and you are the one who can change the story.
Exactly, and that's why it's so important to seek for help, because when you're in the problem, you only see the problem. Like when you're deep,
exactly.
deep
you're
depth,
you can be so lost,
yeah,
that you cannot see
the light.
Yeah.
You can see from a different angle that there must be something good. When you ask me, so what's good in your situation, and my immediate answer, nothing. There's nothing.
Nothing's good about it.
And then you could really bring to me another side of the situation, which I can't see, because at that moment it just hurts too much, and I don't see the light. I just see the problem, the pain, the desperateness of that situation. Yeah. So, and then the other interesting aspect, which we talked about, that you don't always see that there's a problem, right? And what about that one?
I like to call it a problem, because what I see is an experience. That's an experience. And let's see what meaning did you give that experience. And I am going to try to guide you out from that meaning, so you can see whatever happened to you clearly, like not blinded by your pain.
Yeah. And it's so nice. You reminded me there's no problem. Like it's not a problem. It's just something which happened. And then we label it, because we feel it as a problem, because we don't know how to cope, how to solve it maybe, or how to deal
What
with
to
it.
do with it? Yeah.
How to deal with it, and then it's a problem.
Right.
But in the end, if we say to ourselves it's a problem, then it becomes even harder to deal with it because it already gets a negative connotation too deeply, because of course the emotions are there. So if something hurts, it hurts. There's nothing to do with that. But afterwards, somewhere I read it, I don't know, you're the expert of this, but I read something that every feeling lasts only 4 seconds, and everything else, it comes from the thoughts after it, that you're still chewing on it and thinking about it, and then it becomes harder to digest, and you unwillingly hold on to that with your thoughts, so you prolong that feeling. Is that true? Is it?
Yeah, that this is how it becomes suffering. Like, you can't avoid pain, but suffering is a choice. And right. What helped me a lot when I was at the beginning of my journey was that sorry, I lost my train of thought.
That we decide to suffer. It's a decision to suffer. We were going from that point.
Yeah.
And with our conversation, you made me think too that I choose to suffer because there are some things in my life where I just chew on it. Like it happened, okay, it was unpleasant, but I get into the car and I continue to think about it. And then the suffering, real suffering starts to happen. So I think in the beginning of
that's
the
basically
journey,
I am creating the suffering because I don't know how or how to deal with the problem.
exactly.
And I remember. Thank you for helping me. Because the solution, the way, like, very simply put, the solution is for me to become from the person who is lost and doesn't have enough tools and maybe stuck in a childhood trauma, to become the person who can solve the situation, who can cope, not cope, but who can deal with the situation.
Rise above.
Yeah,
Rise above.
yeah. Because here is the thing: whenever I have a difficulty in my life, that might not be a difficulty for somebody else who doesn't have the same experiences and the same meanings attached to it as me. So for them, no problem.
Yeah.
So basically, it's all about taking the journey from this present person to a future person who is able to deal with whatever situation there is.
And that's so hopeful. Gives
And
really
that's so
hope.
hopeful. Like, it gave me so much hope that if I put in the work and I transform, like I change, then whatever is a problem today, it won't be a problem tomorrow. And more hopeful is that after all those years of healing work, I experienced that too. Like, I can confirm that it's not just a theory, but I can confirm it, that it's like, it's not true that we don't have any more pain, or we don't have, or we won't have difficulties. But what really hopeful is that our whole attitude and the way we live, the way we think changes. Because now I have a solution. I'm like, I like to call myself a change artist, and that's what we need to become in order to heal. Because that's new, like that's future self who is more knowledgeable, uh, less critical, for example, more accepting, being able to treat themselves with more compassion, or even being able to love themselves. I guess one of the biggest challenge today is that we didn't learn to love ourselves.
Yeah, we learn how to criticize ourselves.
We are so good at criticizing and blaming and going on a guilt trip, but to treating ourselves with kindness and
Understanding.
acceptance and curiosity.
Yeah.
Like not criticism and blame, but like to treat myself like I am somebody valuable and a treasure, basically.
Yeah.
Like, how do you treat something or somebody who you value? Treat yourself as such. This is actually an idea that I learned from Jordan Peterson, a Canadian psychologist. I owe him so much because this I am working on this for years now, to learning to treat myself like I am someone important, like I'm someone valuable.
And this is really good for us who are on the healing journey with you, because at least, as you said, you did it yourself. You know what it means. You went through that, the whole journey you did, and you're now seeing the light. So for us who go to you for help, to seek help with this, it's the best possible way, because I see in you that person, what you said, that in the future that you hope to become that person for who that is not anymore a problem, but it's ready for the task.
Yeah.
That's so great that you did it. And in the end, partially you're still doing it, right? So you understand that point where you should be loving yourself, feeling important, or feeling that you're a treasure, but maybe you still didn't or not always managed to do that, because we are humans and we are so deeply infected from the bad patterns or those
and conditioned.
Conditioned, thank you. That is not the
Yeah.
right choice of word, but like deeply, deeply rooting in those not healthy ways of living, because that's what we learned. That was the normality, and that's what we had to put on to be accepted as not being childish or being an adult. But in the end, you can give us a better picture or a better image what one can have of herself or himself. And that's something which, for me, it's very good to have you in my life in this, because I can really connect with you and look up at you and trust you that you're my best guide in this. So thank you for sharing this.
I'm really grateful for your words, because it confirms my intention. That was my intention to do this work. Like, I can have the knowledge, like I could do 3 universities and have all the knowledge of the world about these inner process, the healing process, but without me doing anything, like any healing work, I still would be empty. And when I started on this journey, and I came to understand that how important for the healer is to first start the work with herself, and only after we can be able to really help others. Otherwise, I cannot hold that container you're stepping in, because if I get triggered by whatever you bring in, because I am not not okay with myself, so you come with your challenges, and that triggers me. How can I help you? I cannot.
Yeah.
So yes, there are a good parts of me that I can say I am blessed that are healed. And then there are other parts that I'm still working on. Like I guess I find it very important to tell or let everybody know that this is not like um, homework that you finished and then you check
Yeah.
healing. It's not like that. It's I like to say that it becomes your way of living.
Hmm.
Like
It's a lifetime task.
yes, yes, yes. Because there are wounds that are easier to heal, and that are wounds that are so deep, they're rooted so deep.
Yeah.
And another thing, there are levels. Like first we start with the personality, but it also affects us, for example, where we were born, like
Yeah.
what nationality we have, because even a nation have its woundings, or how was the society when we were born, what we were, because for example, I was born in a communist country, and that really affected how I evolved as a child and how I got wounded.
Of
Like for
course.
example, my self-esteem really got hurt or wasn't able to develop.
And I think that's a transgenerational trauma we still carry.
Yeah,
Because I wasn't
yeah,
born in the communism, but I still have that because it's
exactly.
passed
Yeah,
on from
yeah,
generation to generation. And often I think that I really want to stop with me, like that
yeah,
I want to be that wall which is like shielding the next generation to get
yeah. Not to give
those.
it
Yeah,
forward, right?
yeah. But for that, I need to heal because I know about myself that if I start if I start to have a family, because we are thinking now to maybe have a child because okay, I'm getting to that age.
Mm-hmm.
But I think about this often that if I react in certain ways, I can see on myself because of my husband who's not Hungarian, often telling me that look, this is not the best way to do it. You could do it
Right.
in a more compassionate way. You could be more caring or more warm, in many aspects, in the best way, like not in a good way. And I just feel I can't because this is only what I know how to do it.
Right.
And I often look at him as my mentor in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
I look at him that he can react to the same thing completely differently and more calmer, more constructive way. So I really feel that I need to do this work with myself before I start to grow up another soul, a child in this
Mm-hmm.
world, because I don't want that to learn from me the bad patterns which are making my life or our life with my husband or
Mm-hmm.
even a bigger scheme more miserable. It's a bad word to use, I know, but it makes it harder to live. So this could be healed or should be healed, not could be, should be healed, or the healing process
At
should
least,
start.
to start the healing process,
Yes.
and then the very beautiful thing is that even our children are our teachers. Like I met some kids, they are amazing. What knowledge and
Hmm.
wisdom they have, it's crazy.
Yeah, sometimes
Yes,
I
I guess the wonderful thing is that your intention and your healing work meets them. So we add so much to each other's life, even as a child and parent too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so great when we can look at it as a parent that we learn from the children, because I remember when we were children, we had no saying in many things or most of the things, and my family was still very modern in many aspects compared to others, but they also had, of course, their problem, like they not problems, like their deficiencies, but like every family, right? Like every parent. But
Yes.
when I went out from that small core, often I was just felt like, shut up, you're just a child. There's nothing that you can say to add to my life.
Yeah.
To
Because
my life something.
I'm the parent, I'm the adult, and you have no word here. Like,
Yeah, yes, and it's really, really sad if you think about it, that we think we know it all as adults, and that also makes us close so much, and therefore we just shut ourselves from growing. So somehow
exactly.
there's this misconception that, okay, I'm a grown up and I know everything and that's it, and my life just stagnates, and I get to adult and I get to old age, and I just die as I became at 30 or something like that. But it's so silly that we take away so many great opportunities from ourselves because we think often that I'm just like this, I know it all, or maybe just simply I can't change. We often believe of ourselves that no, I'm like this, I became like this, and I can't change, and that's it, and I have to live with myself, and the others have to live with me, and that's it. And we don't see
I
that.
had that belief like
Yeah.
for quite a few years, and it was such a relief to change that belief and to believe someone, and that helped, like moving to another country and experiencing another approach to life, another approach to change. For example, like when you hear from someone you find trustworthy, and he or she says that yes, change it's possible, or it's mandatory. I even read a book with the title Change or Die, like it's so important to change. And I was like, oh, is it possible? It's possible. Like it was so
I didn't even know I could
liberating that,
change. Yeah.
oh, if change is possible, because so far I believe that, as you said, this is who I am. I have to live with myself because that's what it is.
That's what it is.
But that's not true.
Yeah.
And when you meet someone who brings another energy, who brings another uh, approach to life, and lives it, like you really can tap into and and feel into that reality. It's really, really um, opens open the doors for a better, like for the opportunity that yes, life can get better and better, not worse and worse, as
Yeah.
we urge.
Yes, what we hear so often, that it just gets
Yeah,
worse. Yeah, and it gives you the hope that actually you or me or anyone has the hope to get a better life, or to take the most out of life and not just survive, but to live,
exactly.
to start
To
to live to
live,
the fullest.
not just survive, but to live.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
I truly believe that we all have this inner healer and this inner coach within ourselves. It's just we hid it so deeply that we can't access it. But it's there, and we are able to reconnect with them and take responsibility for our lives. And responsibility for me means that I am response able to whatever happened to me.
exactly, that's very nicely put. Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm. I think,
And that,
Melanie, this was such a great um, description of who you are and what you can give and what you can believe, and the words were so beautifully put. I don't want to stop the conversation, but it's really, really a great. I think it's like that the producers make a film and they think of how to end the best way. So I feel that this would be the best way to end, but I don't mean to stop you. So whatever you still have to say, Melania, please add it.
No, I totally resonate with what you said, because this can be like a nice message. And yeah, I am really grateful for the opportunity for the conversation. I believe it was a really great conversation. I even might add that this is our first time, me and Zsófia, having this kind of conversation, and I believe that it went absolutely great.
It could even be better.
Yeah, we were a little bit worried about and
a bit nervous because
nervous.
you never know what to think. Yeah.
But I believe it's we really met during this conversation, and that's what it counts, really. So thank you so much. So
thank you so much to Melania, and again, thank you for all the healing work you have done on me, and I'm returning for more because it's
so
what you said, that the best coaches ourselves are, but we just don't have the right questions often to ask from ourselves, and also the clarity, that you who sees it from outside and has been healed, you're a healer who's healed.
I walked that path already. Like, I'm not better than anyone. I just maybe a couple of steps ahead. So I know whoever is coming after me on that path, where they are, and I can feel for them because I know how it was back then.
And you know that what we live in these moments,
and I know what's possible because
yes.
I'm 2 steps in like 2 steps ahead, and I know how it is there.
Yes. And I wanted just to share with you my secret about you, that when I think of you, I always think that you're the Transylvanian healer. This is my picture in my head, that you're a Transylvanian healer. I don't know if you read those, or for sure you heard this in your childhood, that back then they were those ancient knowledge, the healers were healing the shaman, I think.
Yeah, shamans. Yeah.
Shamans, and of course, many people would think that that's something, witches don't exist.
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft don't exist, but you're not witchcrafting. But I have read a book from Biro-Boér when I was small, and I think he mentions it more than that. But one of them was about this who has the healer, the Transylvanian healer, and then the people went with several issues, all kind of things, and then he was able to have them purely because he had walked that path, and everybody looked up at him because of this and had a respect for that person. So I always wished when I was reading this in childhood, that why are not anymore those people? Where are those people? Like, I wish I really meet someone. And finally, when we met, you're really that healer, that you're the Transylvanian healer. Finally, there are some people who bring this knowledge back to real life, and being what's the word, that approachable or reachable for us to go through and to get that healing from you, what we need, or with your guidance to find the healing which is available for all of us. And thank you so much, Melania, for being here, and I hope that you will be inspiring many other people. And guys, just believe that there's a better you out there, and Melania can bring that better you out from you, and it's really regardless where you live or what are your conditions. If you're open for healing, then the healing will come to you. Just choose your coach right, who can get you there. So thank you, Melania, for this.
Thank you so much, Zsófia.
Very great. And I look forward to meeting you again individually as well.
Me too. Maybe one day we are going to just go on with this conversation.
Yes, repeat or add new levels to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, see ya. See ya soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.